started really popping off.
Absolutely, and I think maybe Painter thinking about this in the wrong direction. I think this Jax counter pick makes a lot more sense if Game 2 saw FNB being a monster split pusher, being in the side lane constantly, taking down turrets with Hullbreaker. That was not FNB's Game 2, right? That he did take down side lane turrets from time to time. Primarily, though, he was just killing Trigo. That was his whole objective in life. That was the whole reason the Tryndamere pick really worked, is that he dunked on Weiser in lane with Ranger's help on Kha'Zix, and then he killed Trigo on repeat, right? Got that triple kill off the big dragon play there, too. He did have Hullbreaker. He was occasionally in the side lane, but that wasn't his primary objective. Here, they've drafted Weiser onto Jax. Jax is supposed to match Tryndamere in the side lane all game long. Jax can do that, but can he protect Ezreal from the Tryndamere? I don't think so, 4Y.
No, and you've only got, as far as, primary engage, it's damage, right? So he can't be on peel duty, really. I mean, it's otherwise you're relying on gold card, warhop kick, some sort of flash, leap strike stun, right? But it's gonna be tough. And I think the only saving grace is that, like you said, it is an Ezreal, and he's got flash and E as well, but didn't take cleanse, took exhaust here. Yeah. And again, in a vacuum, I think that's fine. But and with the Kai'Sa as well, right? Realm warps going forward. You got quite a few gap closers on this in this Furia composition. Let's see though. Yeah, we've kind of identified the objectives. I'm glad you brought it back to this sort of this idea of locking mid laners into lanes, right? And how pivotal that was. It has been kind of all game, right? Or all series, I should say. That in the early game, both these teams have been playing really good League of Legends, trading objectives back and forth. Even Ranger, I mean, even though he got behind because of a couple botched ganks, that's kind of what you get with a champion like Kha'Zix. It is high risk, high reward. But for the most part, there has been good call and response in these early games.
There really has been, right? Very punishing from both sides. You miss a bad roam, enemy team immediately takes that dragon, right? And it's something that Karaoke has done especially well. I'll go ahead and say Ranger a number of times as well. But Karaoke last game on Viego was able to several times you recall the first dragon he took, was able to get that dragon down after a bad gank from Ranger topside, was able to walk all the way back up and get the Rift Herald down immediately after, right? So very, very punishing. Both these teams looking for any opening that they can find.
Ooh.
Right with the flash. He knows where to go.
Yep. Immediately. Pinketo had that gold card cocked back and ready to fire. But Envy blows the flash, and that's all right.
Yeah, he's just fine. Off of this, Karaoke does know exactly where Ranger is. You don't flash up into the enemy jungle for no reason. So he is going to walk up, check up on his red. Unfortunately for him, Ranger is still here.
FNB flashing forward. Wow. He's got that flash ghost. One more auto might do it. First blood for FNB.
That's not good, right?
No.
Weiser's supposed to at least match the Tryndamere here pre-6, but not so apparently. Not FNB's Tryndamere anyway. Karaoke, did he lose the red? It's not focused. I don't think he has red buff. I'm looking at the tooltip at the bottom left, so I think that was stolen by Ranger. It does get forced. Yeah, he doesn't have red, so Ranger steals that away from him and forces him out of his own jungle. Killer play once again from Ranger. The 1v1 between these two junglers has just been massively favored for Furia.
Yeah, no, so far so good. The top lane matchup, like you said, this is like the one thing that couldn't go wrong. This is the one thing that we said as a given. It's like, oh yeah, why is he gonna be able to match him, in lane? But then what? And now this is a significant disadvantage. FNB did blow both his summoners, and Weiser's down them as well. But this is gonna get ugly early here.
It really is. It really is. I don't know if you make the comeback here in this lane, things get significantly better for FNB at level 6. It's this interaction that makes this lane good for Weiser, right? You step up, hit the E, FNB can't trade back with you, then you stun him and walk away, right? It's that interaction that makes this matchup positive for Weiser. You just got to keep it up, right? He can't drop trades. Oh, here we go.
Speaking of trades. Yeah, Trigo got really good damage there onto Redbird. Natuno cleanse out. Now both supports running for their lives. Trigo keeping the fight going here. Ooh. Essence Flux down, not able to land anything else. I think he already blew his E in at rank 1. That's a 20-some second cooldown, so Arcane Shift not going to be up anytime soon. Also wanted that just in case you don't know where Carrier or Ranger is. Well, there he is. Flashes over and leap striking onto a ward. He's not the only one that can war hop.
Yeah, ward hopping over there with the Jax. Nice escape from him, but once again, trying to shut Weiser down in the early game. That's what you want to do, right? Game 1's pretty nuts on the Jace, so do not want to let Jax run away with the game either, as he is also a late game terror if he has a solid laning phase. Just that's not looking like it's going to happen here. FNB taking plates for free off the top side. Dragon up now. I want Karaoke to make a move on that. We've seen him a little bit faster on the Dragons here in the early game, and it's worked out well for him in the past.
Yeah, and with control of that Scuttle Crab as well. I think the only thing you're really waiting for is some sort of priority in a lane, right?
Yeah.
And vision of where someone else is, because it is still like a little risky. You don't have quite everything you need. And Lee Sin, again, one of these junglers that not too dissimilar to Viego. So many tools, but if you get behind early, it starts to go sideways really, really quickly. You get so much value out of that passive, right? The double strike early, just the damage you can pump out on this champion early is stupid. And in the right hands, he's a very mechanically rewarding champion as well. He's kind of your skill check for are you a decent jungler or not. Damage. Gonna drop a Q down mostly to keep Dinketo safe. I think he knows that his fate is sealed. Ranger with a second kill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Nice kill down there for the Viego, and damage stepping up a little bit too far. It was a good ward from Redbird, actually, just dropping the control ward in that side bush. Expecting somebody to be there, finds damage all alone, says, hey, you know what? Take a chance on me, throws the hook out, and they get the kill down onto damage. Nice pick there in a meta where so often it's the Nautilus the one getting picked by the Leona.
Yeah, right. Feels good. Yeah, walks away with the assist there. Does Redbird with Glacial Augment. I mean, Nautilus is already just so toxic, but it's just so much more oppressive with that. It's a travesty that supports can do that. I think it's a little ridiculous, but whatever. I mean, I'm not complaining. Look, I'm a dirty Leona Nautilus abuser. That's all I play in solo queue. If they get banned, I play Bard, which is wildly different. But man, do I love these go forward champions. You just point and click CC. Dumb. Ranger now looking towards that bottom side of the map, and he might run into Karaoke here. Neither one of them at level 6. Gonna mop up a Scuttle Crab and get some help from Envy in doing so. Able to shove in that wave. He's got a ward on the top side as well, looking for any sort of other attention, but getting some deeper vision into the back line, or into Karaoke's jungle rather. And now a couple of level advantages coming in here. Trigo is 6, but the rest of the supports and the rest of the bottom laners are not. But up a level is Ranger, and that's pretty big.
Yeah,
he's trying to push it here.
Yeah, he's up like 3 camps there too, which is nice.
Yeah. Now to the dragon we go. Should be the first one of the game here. Yeah, just no side, feeling totally comfortable trying anything right now. Dinketo with the gold card, and the hook is going to go just wide. It was a good sneaky attempt there with the Realm Warp by Envy. I respect the vision. I see what he was going for. All he gets is a flash out of Dinketo, though.
Yeah, just a flash down. Nothing else for him there. You had Rift Herald started up by FNB, Redbird, and Ranger going to roam up here too. Weiser cannot stop this. Yeah. That's close.
I thought there was going to be a Nautilus hitbox diff.
Me too.
But he walked away. And Karaoke over the wall. Now, speaking of walking away, who's chasing who? Rift Herald picked up by I have no idea who. Karaoke going to mop it up. A good smite steal from him, saying, Ranger, you're not the only one that's sneaky on these.
Yeah, that was the primary issue, right? Rangers didn't have smite. Yep. So at some point they were like, all right, we have to leave. We can't do this anymore. And they tried walking out, but Karaoke was able to finish it off there for him and picks that one up for free. Things like this, it's not just the Rift Herald, right? It's all the time that Furia spent trying to get it as well too, and that is going to set them behind at least a little bit in these lanes across Summoner's Rift, and it feels pretty bad too, right? I mean, you just don't get the Rift Herald, so hopefully Karaoke taking that last camp topside, taking the Krugs and looking for the dragon, but might just be Furia that have the angle on this one. Yeah,
let's see in response what they're able to do. Karaoke has been all over the place in the early games. for his team. He's been really, really efficient. I mean, Ranger had a heck of a game on the volley bear in game 1 as well. He was matching him kind of blow for blow. But in these 2 games, even though the series is tied up 1-1, Karaoke, give him his flowers, man. He's been up and down this year. He went to MSI last year with Pain Gaming, and they tore it down and rebuilt it around him with, like you said, top-level players, guys that have international experience. Weiser's been in this region before. Played for Kaboom back in 2019. Dinketo went to Worlds and MSI in 2018 with Kaboom as well. One of the only teams to win wire-to-wire, that Kaboom team, won regular season spring and summer, and then won playoffs spring and summer as well. Only team to do that in CBLOL history. It was him, Ranger, and Titan were the stars of that one. Trying to get back to an international tournament for the first time since then. But yeah, all that to say, Karaoke's early games have been good.
They have been pretty good, right? I mean, Ranger's been a standout star, but Karaoke's had some great maneuvers there as well. It's just kind of been like a lane issue for Karaoke, I feel. Also, just Ranger intentionally picking things that ruin Karaoke's day. So that's another factor there as well. Rift Herald going to be dropped top. Weiser and Karaoke looking for the dive on F&B. He's got ultimate though, folks.
Yep, he's got ult, and this might be all she wrote, and especially with Ranger just kind of hanging out and shadowing him. That's all they're gonna get.
And want to point out as well, a lot of the matchup data on this is, of course, from solo queue, and I'll tell you the difference between solo queue and pro play is that FMB last hits waves under turret perfectly, so he doesn't go down CS because Jax is pushing waves into him constantly. He, in fact, doesn't lose anything at all for that because he's just that good. So that's a little bit of a difference there. It's just 2 CS difference between these 2 top laners.
Yeah.
And, of course, one of them has solo killed the other as well.
Yeah, bit of an important factor there. But picking up the armor boots immediately into this Tryndamere matchup, you like to see that. He's got a couple butter knives and the corrupting pots as well. But meanwhile, a Noon Quiver and the Berserker's Greaves picked up. He's got Flash Ghost and a little more chase potential. Yeah, the auto attacks aren't going to do quite as much into those armor boots, but he's going to get more of them off. Weiser definitely respecting that FNB can trade back pretty well, and he's not going to, like you said, he's not going to do anything dumb. FNB is such a fundamentally sound player. But Weiser trading well in this one. Damage, waiting for that big commit, and in he goes. Shoulder Flare not going to find its mark, but FNB able to escape with the Ghost and a little bit of healing. Flashes the thumbs down to his opponents, not able to catch him just yet.
Yeah, and he uses all that Fury built up there to heal himself, so we'll have to back off as he doesn't have the same offensive options as he does. Meanwhile, Ranger's soloing up the dragon. I think this might be his first solo of the series so far. Does get that one down. Hextech Drake will be the next one up.
Oh, here we go. Redbird thought he found a pick, and he saw TF behind him, said, just kidding, flashed right over the wall. Absolutely locked down. He don't want Ranger to play League of Legends.
Yeah, and he doesn't get to play League of Legends, right? Gets the dragon down, and what does he get for it in return? Collapsed on, just destroyed there. So that CS differential between the 2 junglers is going to be made up for a little bit here as Karaoke has some time to catch up. But he's still got the Divine Sunder, Ranger. He's still got the first Mythic on Summoner's Rift, so I think he's doing just fine, right?
Karaoke ward hopping over. We sidestep the True Shot barrage, but Karaoke mops it up. Damage. Juggle the aggro just fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Netanyahu, that felt kind of free, right? Karaoke cleans that one up for sure, and uses both summoner spells there too. Ouch, that feels bad. Yeah, does not in fact escape. Weiser, the double stun under turret. FMB.
Yeah. Flashes over the wall. TP got canceled. He's going to get some help. Pops the ultimate as well. Leap striking over to a minion. FNB doesn't, or he did have ult. Pops it immediately. Envy going to take the tower aggro. And now we're going to get a whole lot of turret plate gold off this. Well, actually, not a whole lot because the clock ticked to 14 minutes. That's unlucky. But good response there. And I think, critically, right? Envy, he should get an unofficial assist. He canceled that TP from Dinketo.
Did cancel the TP there, so FNB maybe caught out now. Honestly, you could probably flip this too, but does not have ultimate. Okay,
didn't want it.
Just gonna walk out, right? I think they go 1 for 1 if they fight that one out. I really think they do. The issue is he has full Fury, and that gives him a ton of extra damage, right? So you don't want to fight up that hook. And
there's that Nautilus hitbox. That was ridiculous. That straight up missed him. That the hook goes up and down, doesn't go left and right.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Man.
That feels pretty bad. Ranger turns into Leona.
Yeah.
And you ever get your Raptors stolen by the enemy support? That feels bad. But no, they get another pick down onto this Leona in kind of a mirror matchup. Made the comment before. Normally, this is the Nautilus getting picked off, but Leona being able to survive with all the damage mitigation on W. But no, not this game, I guess. It is damage just going all the way down. Second Rift Herald picked up by Ranger handily. This time he has Smite.
Hey. Wouldn't you know?
Imagine that, right?
Yeah. Man, didn't even need it that time, but able to pick up that second Herald. Yeah, immediately. Just decisive play. Good stuff from him. FNB taking down that top tower. He's got the Gale Force as well. He's up just one level on Wiser, who himself, again, he's that top lane has gotten a lot of attention in the early game. He's doing all right, all things considered. Next objective, not going to be for another couple minutes here, but Furia having a much better early game this time around. This is what we wanted to see. I mean, Ranger on the Volley Bear, it's so much easier to do, and Viego can be a little bit more boom or bust. But he's been great as far as just, you don't know who's calling the shots necessarily, but it's been pretty tight from Furia so far.
It's been a tight game, yeah, and that's how these games have gone so far, right? Is you get to about like 50, 45K gold for both teams, and then all of a sudden, one just takes off in the other direction. They take control of the game, snowball it into a victory. But up till that point, very even games. FNB, that's Envy.
Envy gonna get collapsed on. And now the Herald's gonna get released in response. Gonna throw it down mid lane. TP used, or rather ultimate, by Dinketo. He doesn't have the TP back up. I think they're gonna be able to grab this one. Yeah, Karaoke just kind of covering the rest of it. And doing a little bit of pushing is Dinketo on this Twisted Fate, trying to get a little bit of priority. Let's see who walks away with that second dragon when they go for it. But this take much later than we're used to seeing.
Love that that FNB's build is adapted here. There's no hull breaker this time, right? It's just directly into the Gale Force with the boots there too. Recognizing that he's not going to beat Wiser in the side lane, he's going to beat him by grouping with his team, using his ultimate to get kills for his team, get those advantages, dive the back line, and try to get onto Dinketo and Trio. And he's doing that magnificently right now. He's also just providing a lot of sustained damage to take down these structures and take down these objectives. So that's how you want to play Tryndamere in this matchup, and he's doing it really well.
Responding with a topside tower take of their own is Pain. But yeah, like you said, it's just good adaptive League of Legends. Even though it's not quite the grab the jinx, right? And Intrigo's a much slipperier target. He knows his job, right? I mean, in lane, whatever advantages that Wiser had are just going to be amplified in the side lanes as these guys start hitting way harder with these auto attacks. And now with a TP, who is it ill-fated? Wiser jumping right onto FNB, using him as a skipping stone, saying, thank you, I'm going to go this way, actually.
Wiser with that bonus movement speed from the teleport's going to walk right out, and he will be okay. Dragon just gets absolutely melted by Furia, who are scaling up incredibly well. Ocean Dragons for the rest of this game, looks like. Let's talk about Netino. Netino down bot side has been scaling up effectively. We have two Econ 80 carries this game, so it's Kai'Sa and Ezreal. Both start man immune. And then look for, in the case of Ezreal, you're not going a mythic item to like third item. Flash hook on damage.
Nothing cheesy about that. Damage locked up, drops a solar flare right on top of him, and Ranger goes down. Dinketo picks up the kill. Damage, gonna wait out that damage with a solar flare over the wall and back. Karaoke just pinballing around the forces of Furia. FNB with a big ult play. Can he get anyone? They're just dancing all around, and the exhaust is gonna help pick that up. Wiser picking up the kill there. Pain Gaming have turned the fight around. The Acadian Rain is not gonna be enough. Gold card lands as well. True Shot Barrage not going to land, but it doesn't matter. Damage going to pick up the kill, and Pain walk away with a 4-for-0.
Nice, and this is the play that has happened so many times so far this series that flips the game on its head. It was a great hook from Redbird in onto Damage to start things off, but just too much CC coming down. Damage actually going to move a little bit, displaced there while under the effects of the stopwatch. Redbird tries to use their own stopwatch, and FNB diving the back line with that ultimate taking, isn't able to get anyone down. Netino gets picked up on the backside with the flash gold card from Dinketo, and this fight goes handily to Pain Gaming. I mean, Damage survived that fight. That's the craziest part to me, right? They picked them off with the Nautilus hook, damage coming down onto the Leona, and not only lives through it, but turns that fight right around, and they end up pulling out a victory from it. It's what, like a 3K gold lead now? So, not too bad.
Unfortunately, weren't able to do a ton with it across the map other than push out some waves. But they were shoved in a favorable position for Furia when that fight started off. So just kind of shoving them right back. Intrigo with a kill as well. He and Dinketos there. You can see the gold chart on the left. This is kind of where you want it to be going. Karaoke, a much better game this time around. Something I mentioned was that I wanted to see more out of him. If Payne were going to pick it up this series, he's been awesome. He's been really, really good. And that's not to take anything away from Ranger, because he's been electric on this Viego as well. But Karaoke really showing up in this series, and he's had to so far in the early game, right? Your AD carry, like you said, he's econing right now. This is an econ round for him. He's not going to scale up till much later. And Dinketo's been all over the place. Another fantastic carry performance from the solo laner, hooking over the wall, and that should be enough. Dinketo with kill number 2.
Does avoid giving Trigo, I believe, the assist, so that's at least something, a reason to keep playing the game even when you think things are doomed. So good on you there. But this is where it begins, right? You start getting into the late game, your Nautilus starts getting picked more and more and more, and things go from very bad to very worse. If you want like a little cheat sheet for why, if you're ever watching a pro game, ooh, Wiser into FNB.
That was close.
Yeah, it's dangerous there. It still has the ult up, so, but tons of damage coming out of the Jax right now. If you want a cheat sheet to see which support thinks they're winning, it's whoever builds Even Shroud. If you build Even Shroud in a pro game, you think you are winning, right? Now, sometimes you think you're winning or you're not winning. In this case, Damage is very much winning, very confidently here, and he has the Even Shroud. But in this mirror matchup, well, not mirror, but Nautilus Leona matchup,
yeah, same thing.
Yeah, if you build the Even Shroud, that's declaring I have won. You are now in the back foot.
I'll see if that confidence comes to fruition here. Tied 1-1, Payne Gaming. They ended the season on an absolute heater. They won 7 of their last 9 games. And that was actually what put them in 4th place, because Payne, as well as Netshoes, Liberty, and Loud, all had 10 wins. And a 10-win team missed playoffs this year. It's been a really, really bundled up CBLOL this year. Even the top 3 teams, really only a couple games above them. But Payne playing with a full head of steam, a lot of confidence right now, at a level much higher than a 4 seed. But Furia racked up enough wins from the jump, even though they lost to Loud, the other super team, twice. They got 2-0'd by them in the regular split. They kind of dumpstered everybody else. And even though they ended the season on a bit of a wobble, this is a team that they don't call them a super team for nothing, and they've delivered on those expectations so far. But in best of 5s is where boys become men, and that's what they're trying to do here. They're down 5K right now and down a tower, but they've got two dragons, and they've taken a herald as well. They've broken open that mid tier 1 and that top tier 1. Again, you mentioned it earlier, Axe. It's not Hullbreaker for FNB. He knows that's not how he's going to help win his team this game, at least not right now. And so far, it's been so good. But Payne have had control of this one more or less for the last kind of 5 minutes. We talk about there's, because of these really tight and good, just technically sound early games from both of these teams so far this split, it's about at this time when one team starts to take off, and right now that's Payne.
It really is Payne, right? I mean, we've seen Furia get all the dragons so far, and this time around, they can't even get in the area. They don't have the map control whatsoever to contest this dragon. Karaoke is just going to solo it up for free. Let that be the marker for you watching this game that, hey, Furia are way behind. Even if the gold, you're not factoring that in, going from having 2 dragons to not being able to push up on the 3rd is definitely telling where these teams are at right now. FNB in the side lane. Interesting, he spent more time in the side lane this game without Hullbreaker than he had previously. He's got the quick blades up now.
Yeah, and the quick, you talk about toxic items in the video game League of Legends made by Riot Games. Navori quick blades. What a ridiculous item on this champion. I like it on Lucian personally, but but it is just nutso on Tryndamere. I think that's half the reason he hasn't fallen out of the meta completely when Hullbreaker got nerfed, because Graves kind of did, right? We don't see a lot of Graves top anymore with the Hullbreaker nerfs, right? Because he took advantage of that being a ranged champion. But Navori Quickblades on a Tryndamere is just silly. A tower goes down on the bot side of the map, and now Redbird locked up, able to flash out of there. Hooks right in, doesn't get a champion. He just finds a wall and he gets deleted. Karaoke getting kill number 4. And with the leap strike and the stun gone, FNB goes in and right back out with his ultimate, trying to get some value out of it. He grabbed him eventually. I don't know how he did that, but now the rest of Pain mopping up the fight. Damage is hanging on by a sliver of health, trying to get just some sort of last-ditch kamikaze EQ, but his team doesn't need it. Pain Gaming, a 5-for-1 ace. They've broken it open.
I truly believe that 2v4 was maybe winnable there for Furia. I don't blame them for going that fight. Yeah, it was definitely close, right? I mean, Damage was forced out of the fight. He's so low. Trigo is gaining so much health from just the passive healing there, and he's really taking advantage of that one. But Trigo was also very low health. Karaoke there too. And critically, Furia had the Baron really low. I think they probably could have finished it off, but Redrick go in there for the hook, hits the wall. I think the wall is worse than hitting a champion. I don't know if hitting a champion would have saved him there, but yeah, hitting that wall definitely killed him. Solar Flare doesn't connect, but yeah, this just pulling him all the way into the enemy team, that doomed him for sure. And they don't get any picks in return, right? But still, every stage of this fight, Furia was so close. Weiser almost dying there, too. The Acathian Rain finally getting picked off by FNB. Damage somehow surviving this. Not really
done
sure
that a few
how.
times this series.
Yeah, but right here, a few seconds before that 2v4, I think they could have won that. It just was an unfortunate situation there for Furia. And similar to
a pretty good ult, kind of like positioning wise by Natuno, right? He used that wall really well. That's exactly what you want to do as a Kai'Sa ultimate, right? It's boom or bust. But if you ult in the right direction, what you want to do is get from the front of the fight to the back of the fight, while your team is focused on something else, right? They said, okay, my support is down. I've got a little bit of a window here, and he positioned himself pretty well, but the damage just wasn't enough.
It was not enough, yeah. And as close as it was not enough. Pain pushing down now with the Baron empowered minions. Difficult to make the comeback now if you're Furia. That gold lead is pretty commanding, almost 10k. And yeah, not a lot of options left for you here. Primary carry hasn't really reared its head for Pain. Everybody's just kind of collectively carrying the weight of the team. Lee Sin very strong right now, but yeah, it's kind of a group effort right now, so that whole mindset of like dive the hyper carry, not really present here so much.
No, they're just being really methodical. A lot of good chain CC here as well. Envy with a stopwatch buys his team some time. Karaoke in trouble and shut down. Envy getting a big chunk of change here. Is this where the comeback starts? The lead is down to 8k, but Karaoke took someone down with him. Weiser, meanwhile, just saying, all right, you know what? Chase my teammates. That's fine. I'm going to bust open this inhibitor and throw a bunch of Baroned up cannon minions at you from the top lane.
Good stuff there. Yeah, those Baron minions hitting the Nexus turrets, not where you want to be hitting, for sure if you're Furia. So they have to take the reset, have to stop that push. But the beginning of the comeback, hey, maybe. Envy hitting Weiser.
Yeah.
I don't think Envy wins that. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's...
Now here come the rest of the Goon Squad. The W lands there onto Weiser. Can they close the gap? That's the question. The Warthog over. It's not quite enough. He's going to juice up these now super minions. Ranger actually might be able to close this gap.
He's fast.
Yeah, he is flying.
He's got the ultimate.
There goes the stun. Oh, it's not quite enough. Maybe he had to angle back into that one, but good stuff by Ranger. He knew his champion.
That's a close one, yeah. Trigo runs it all the way out. Teleport through from Dunkado, looking for the inhib turret. Should take this one for free. They're going to get Dragon for free as well, so worth it to pick Weiser? I don't know. You take what you can get if you're in Furry's position, but you gave up a lot there for that kill.
Yeah, and I do think it could have been worse, but you're right. There was a lot given up there. And these objective bounties, right, they're going to come into play, and so maybe you just put yourself in a better position to contest something like the Dragon, right? Maybe you, gosh, I mean, I was gonna say try to go for like a side lane tower, but Fury already checked those boxes in the early game. They pushed that line of scrimmage really far back, and as far as securing objective bounties, it's biting them in the butt here. But that's not to say they did the wrong thing by any stretch of the imagination, obviously. But it doesn't seem to have blown the game open. That pick onto Weiser wasn't deadly. And I think Ranger needed a little bit of something in his back pocket, so that's going to feel nice for him. But right now, the Dragon's tied up 2-2. And early Dragons are important. Even if they don't help you stack towards Soul, they buy you time, right? And if Pain if Ranger hadn't been as active on the Dragons early as he was, Pain would be on Ocean Soul right now. This would be a very different ball game.
It certainly would be, and well, Ocean Soul isn't quite what it used to be, right? Not the commanding Dragon Soul from like season 10, even like season 11. When you stack up 4 Ocean Dragons, the region becomes impossible to ignore, right? You're walking from like one objective to another, and it is fully healing you. Like it's just that's how it goes when you have that many. The soul itself as well, still useful despite not being. Despite being a shadow of its former self there. Looking for the engage here. Damage just walking up with the ultimate. Yellow card with Donkado. And yeah, looking for that opening. That's scary, man. They're walking up to you and you're thinking, oh, that's not good. That's not good. But want to rotate a Wiser.
Ooh, speaking of not good, Wiser's got to be careful here. Ranger down 3 levels, but he picked him off once before. Was Wiser the worm on the fish hook all along? Pain maybe looking to collapse here. Donkado just kind of putting the fear of God into this Furia squad. Pushing out these lanes. They've got a nice advantage here in priority for Baron. That's coming up in 45 seconds. And we saw how much they got out of that first Baron push, Axe. And the second one could be the nail in the coffin. But Ranger knows a thing or two about denying Barons. So rest assured, they're going to do everything they can, Furia, to put their jungler in a position to pull off another miracle.
Yeah, I'll take Ranger any day of the week, right, for that steal. But see if he can get that one down. Yeah, you're right. This Baron could flip this game in either way. It could make it unwinnable for Furia or bring them back into it. Those power plays can be very strong indeed. Teleport comes out from Wiser onto the objective. They're going to start it out. That primary engage coming out from Redbird. He's not going to live long, but he's going to pull someone out of position.
Yeah, and at this point, that's what supports like this just got to do. Right, you're a tank support, but that is a lowercase t, right? That is relative to other supports. Trigo up front here playing with some fire. He does get the ultimate out of Redbird. That's not nothing. Ooh, that's a lot of damage onto him, though. Man, those W's going to start hitting. Yeah, Natuno picked up that Luden's Echo immediately. Redbird finds a wall, but that actually might be enough here. The rest of the squad followed up. Pain Gaming scattered over that wall. They can't find the angle they're looking for. Wiser's trapped in the pit. There goes Furia, getting the fight that they wanted. Wiser, all he could do was watch in horror as his friends are slaughtered around him.
Oh, yeah. Furia fans are ecstatic right now. They're chasing down Karaoke. Or are they? They might just run it down mid here, push that out. Get that objective bounty off of the turret. FNB wants it, man. He knows he's there. How? How does he know?
Get out of here. Stop that. Stop that, FNB.
There you go. It wins the 1v1 narrowly. Karaoke is still very strong on the Lee Sin, but starting to fall off. And FNB does get that kill down. They get the mid turret here as well. That's objective bounty here for you. More gold into the pockets of Furia. And it turns out that they lose the Baron, but I guess win? I don't know. Win the power play? I don't know.
Wiser realizing he's a dead man. Oh, he goes for Envy, and all he gets is the stopwatch out of it. The leap strike's back off cooldown, though, Axeman. Natuno trying to give chase.
He's
got one more E left. There it goes. Oh, just in range. And Natuno.
Boom.
Man. Yeah, those W's hit really, really hard now.
AP Kaiser, let's go with the Luden's Echo. Let's go. I don't think it's called Luden's Echo anymore. Luden's something, but yeah, so much damage there with the Nashers coming out too. And yeah, these W's are starting to hurt just a little bit as they shred down Wiser, who has no magic resistance there on the build. And yeah, that's not going to bode well for him moving forward. So much damage coming out of Envy and Netuno. You need something like the mod to really keep you in this game. It's what Karaoke has had for a while now, but you want to start seeing the rest of Pain speccing into MR as hard as they can. Third Dragon for Furia going to go down almost instantly.
In the blink of an eye. My goodness. Just absolutely shredded. Axeman, is it time to have a conversation about objective bounties? This was a 10k gold lead. We're down to 4.5.
Yeah, I don't think objective bounties are super fair. I It's a little nuts, right? There's still a bit of a gold lead, right? There's still like
Mhm.
4K gold lead between these two teams. But critically, I want to note is that Pain Gaming started this whole last bid here of the game by taking Baron. Like, this was their Baron power play. They
Yeah.
lost like 3,000 gold on their power play, which is suboptimal. Suboptimal. Not the best thing that could happen to you. So, yeah, this has just been a fantastic play so far from Furia. And get damage here? I don't know. Envy doesn't
Dang.
do a lot of damage.
Oh. He's got no MR. He just pressed W.
Yeah, he did just press W and reduce all that damage, and those Ocean Dragons are going to keep him healthy too. So,
Ooh.
God, that is so much. We all thought he was going to hit that one too. Holy cow.
Wiser right back in. Dinketo, he's saying, dude, I got you. Oh, he gets hooked by the Nautilus. Trigo rating damage down from afar. They've got him down to half health. Those couple Ocean Dragons going to help them out a little bit, but Pain or Furia rather have one of their own. Pain Gaming looking to knock this down. Baron or Dragon knocked him in for another 2.5 minutes. One mistake here could cost them the game. It's still, like you said, Axe, a 5,000 gold lead for Pain. Wiser with a couple of autos took a bite out of that turret. That's all she wrote. Pain knowing that this game is on a knife's edge. The objective bounties have been deactivated now, but still, the team fight is good from Furia. FNB can delete your carries in about 3 autos. Natuno is hitting like a truck right now. And with that Blighted Jewel, it's going to be a Void Staff pretty soon. Woo! Watch out, kids.
Yeah, really. The Blight Jewel, even just the Blight Jewel, makes that damage so much more potent, right? And once he upgrades that, it's just going to get bad to worse there. But Karaoke continuing to fall off, and the late game carries from Pain struggling to find footing. 5 deaths alone just on Wiser, right?
Yeah.
So not good there. Still very highly survivable. On the Jax, good front line, not a lot of MR, right? It looks like he's continuing to spec into armor for some reason. I don't know if that's like a miscommunication or what's going on, but he's still building armor items.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only thing I can think is I agree with you. You'd like to see something. But yeah, I think the only thing you could think of is like, okay, well, I'm going to match FNB in a side lane. But again, that hasn't really been what has been the MO, the modus operandi there for him, and now just so much damage. Trigo says, I don't care if you ever frost me as an AD carry, because you've just put me in a place where I'm just gonna, I have one singular focus. And he dumped every single ability there onto Furia. And now, but here comes a killer with a killer instinct. Natuno, he cleanses out of there as well, trying to auto space as best he can. Here comes the rest of Furia. Damage gonna take a Q to the mouth. Dinketo walking away with a gold card in tow. Wiser looking for a 1v1 of some kind. Ranger over the wall in Karaoke's corpse. I think this will be enough. The Void Seeker going to take a chunk out of him. We've seen this one before, and it ended the same way. Redbird picking up the kill, though, this time.
Oh, yeah. Furia continued to pull back into this game. Down just a little bit of gold now. We're at a point in the game, 37 minutes, where the gold lead doesn't really matter too much, right? Netsuno is almost full build, and Trigo does not have an item advantage over Netsuno, right? So that gold lead, that 4K, is spread out evenly over the rest of Summoner's Rift. A lot of it stacked onto Karaoke, particularly. And the difference between Karaoke and Ranger has not been a particularly material one. We'll go ahead and say these last few fights. It has not mattered that much. So now it is Furia taking down this Baron. This will be their Baron power play, barring a particularly nice true shot barrage from Trigo. It's not going to happen. And here's that replay for you on this fight. Envy, a doomed man, walks back in so he can hit his Everfrost on both Trigo and Dinketo for the style points, I'll say. And it was stylish. Nautilus ult onto Trigo. Massive for them. Immediately Netsuno comes in with the ultimate, deletes 2, follows up with the kill onto damage, gets that one down. And the fight's won almost instantly. This is why you picked Nautilus, by the way. It's just getting the ult on that backline carry. If you're Trigo, this was on you. You should never be within range of Nautilus for that kill. He was too focused on killing Envy, and that's exactly what Envy wanted.
Yeah, and it hits everyone on the way in, right?
Yep.
And you could buffer that E as best you can, right? But when that starts hitting, right, with the Glacial Augment, it slows everyone down, gives you just enough time to get in range for a hook. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Yeah, Nautilus is some BS, man. And now he's got a side stone. Will it even matter? Just popped! Immediately damaged. I don't think he even got to press W that time. True shot barrage out, but that's just more for just to say you did it. Just to say you didn't hold on to the ult. They didn't do anything. Furia, they're, I don't know if in control of this game, but they are a couple fights away from it. And now with the Baron buff, actually, they could certainly try to end here.
I would say they're certainly in control of this game, and they will try to end here, I would think. Trigo mounting the defense. He's got to get hit by a W, right? It's a bunch of minions.
Whoa, Realm Warp!
Whoa, what?
Turrets. Dinketo with the stopwatch, just watching in horror as all his friends are slaughtered. Karaoke ward hopping over his own Nexus turret to safety. That is a tough place to be, but a tougher place to be is on the business end of a loss after being up 10,000 gold. Furia 1 game away from winning the series.
It's never over for a while. No matter how over you think it is, it's never over. They bring it back from the absolute